My dog, I haven't slept yet just so I can push out these videos for you guys. Now, today we're going to speak about a brand new lesson, fair value gaps. Now, most traders know what a fair value gap is. I'm going to tell you this right now. A fair value gap is only important if you know how to use it and if you use it the correct way. If you're using a fair value gap by itself with no real analysis, you're going to lose your trades and it's not worth it at all. In this video, I'm going to show you what time frames to use the fair value gap, how it's created and where to spot it. I'm not going to show you how to specifically use it within the strategy just because, remember, I'm only teaching you guys 10 to 15% of the strategy, okay? Now, if you want to learn the full 100% and get personally taught by me, the website is right over here. Now let's get started and go straight into this damn video, boy. If you guys need to take a screenshot of this, right, take a screenshot. You want to pause the video to write down notes, please. I recommend you to do that. Now let's go right into it. Fair value gap. They're not used for reversals, okay? So I do not use inverse fair value gaps, not used for reversals. Now, if it goes through the fair value gap, it is no longer interest. We measure the wicks for the fair value gap. If the wick is covering the candle, then there is no fair value gap. There needs to be space. Remember, it's made of 3 candles. Not 1, not 2, not 4, but 3 candles. Now, it doesn't matter for the pattern either. It can be red, 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 green, 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 red, red. Who cares about that? Again, only 3 candles, space in the middle, that's it. The first candle wick and the third candle wick cannot overlap each other. Very important. Because this is an easy concept to use, you have to understand that this isn't as valuable as you think. You can find this on every different time frame. Literally 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 1 hour, 1 second, every different time frame. I'm going to show you why it's not valuable. When market is in an up move, we look at the first candlestick top wick, then the third candlestick bottom wick. If there is space, that is your fair value gap. When market is in a down move, we look at the first candlestick bottom wick, then the third candlestick top wick. If there is space, that is your fair value gap. We do not care about the middle candlestick. The middle candlestick does not matter. If there is no space in between and the wick is too long, there is no fair value gap. You can only use a bearish fair value gap to go down, and you can only use a bullish fair value gap to go up. There's 2 types of fair value gap. 3 candles going up, space in the middle, is a bullish fair value gap. 3 candles going down, space in the middle, is a bearish fair value gap. If it closes below a bullish fair value gap, the fair value gap is invalidated and deleted. If it closes above a bearish fair value gap, the fair value gap is invalidated, deleted. And this right over here, I'm going to skip just because you guys don't know what an order block is or equilibrium is. How I use it is completely different. How it's made is completely different. Though this is what I use with my fair value gap, which makes it important. This is only for the people that's in the mentorship, okay? Again, the 10 to 15% that I'm teaching you guys is still very important. You can use it, obviously mix and match. Now, we only look at the 1 hour and 15 minute fair value gap, nothing else. Very important. Now I'm going to show you what a fair value gap is and how it's created. Alrighty, so we have 3 candles. We have 3 candles going down and we have 3 candles going up. As you can see, I did not add any color, okay? Again, the pattern does not matter. It can be red, 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 green, green, red, green, red. Any color, who cares about that? As long as it's 3 candles, space in the middle, that's all that matters. Now, for you guys that's watching, is this a fair value gap right over here? What do you guys think? For the ones that said no, correct. This is not a fair value gap. The reason why this is not a fair value gap is because, let's move on to this. 1, 2, 3 candles going down. This is a bearish fair value gap because if you look at this candle, the first candlestick bottom wick and the third candlestick top wick, they are not overlapping. I can easily place a box in the middle. But right over here, I cannot place a box in the middle because of the wicks are overlapping. So this right over here is not a fair value gap. The reason why we use a fair value gap is because it's a retracement tool, meaning that price is never just going to keep on going up. No. It has to retrace back down, break structure where we enter our trade to go right back up again. And that is exactly what a fair value gap is used for. Price is not just going to keep on going down. No, we are patient. We're going to be patient and wait for market to come back into this fair value gap, which it beautifully did. And now we need to be patient again and wait for a break of structure to enter this trade going right back down. Now, very important, we don't wait for a break of structure until it comes out the box. Absolutely not. Remember what a break of structure is. It's a candlestick confirmation. So this right over here is a black candle, red candle, closing below the blue or green wick. And just like that, this is our break of structure. We enter the trade here to go right back down. Now, if price does not break structure, we cannot enter the trade. We do not do anything but be patient and wait. And if the body closes above this fair value gap and it continues going up, delete this fair value gap. This fair value gap is not invalidated and not good. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people, but you could use it as a reversal, an inverse fair value gap going right back up. No, why not just create another fair value gap right over here? Why would you have to use the same fair value gap? No, a bearish fair value gap is only used to go down, and a bullish fair value gap is only used to go up. Now that we got a break of structure, we enter that trade. Voila, TP has been hit. Simple, easy. Now this one right over here, this is what you call a bullish fair value gap. 3 candles, and there's a beautiful space in the middle now. Meaning that if price can come back into this zone right over here and break structure going up, we end up taking that trade. That's what market does. But if it does not break structure and it keeps on going down, what happens to this fair value gap, guys? The fair value gap is now invalidated, deleted. Now, the reason why a fair value gap is not important is because it's everywhere in the market, okay? Now, you need to use a specific fair value gap within your strategy for it to be an important fair value gap, all right? And I'm going to show you what that means. I want you guys to count to 10, okay? Not too fast, not too slow. 1, 2, 3, like that. And I'm going to show you how fast I find fair value gaps. Now, I'm going to start my timer right now. Ready, set, go. Yeah, I'm looking at my timer. I kind of messed up, man. Okay, I did 11 seconds, all right? I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 fair value gaps. Now, I'm going to show you guys, I'm not bullshitting, that you guys can also pause the video, a fair value gap right over here. We have a fair value gap right over here. We have a fair value gap right over here. We have a fair value gap right over here, right over here, right over here, right over here, right over here. It's everywhere in the market. You see? So, you need to choose a good fair value gap, obviously within your strategy for it to be a good fair value gap. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out 3 candles. You guys let me know if it is a fair value gap or if it isn't, okay? Is this a fair value gap? Right over here. Black, black, blue. These 3 candles right over here. Is that a fair value gap? For the ones that said yes, this is a fair value gap because look, beautiful space in the middle. Pattern does not matter. This is a fair value gap. What about this one right over here? Blue, blue, blue. Is that a fair value gap? Yes, it is because again, there's a beautiful space in the middle. But now, as you can see, it gets the body closest below. There's a bullish fair value gap, invalidated. But that's totally fine. All I want you to do is find the fair value gap. That's all. Is this a fair value gap right over here? What do you guys think? Blue, black, blue. For the ones that said yes, this is a fair value gap. Beautiful space in the middle. The candles are not overlapping, okay? If it looks weird, then it's not a fair value gap. That's simple. What about this, guys? Is this a fair value gap right over here? Black, blue, black. This is not a fair value gap, okay? And the reason why is because, look, this candle wick and this candle wick overlaps. I cannot place a box in the middle, all right? What about this one right over here? Is this a fair value gap right over here? Blue, black, blue. For the ones that said it isn't, correct. This is not a fair value gap. The reason why is because look at the difference between this and this right over here. I can easily place a box in the middle right here. The wicks are not overlapping, and over here it just looks weird. Okay, and let's do 2 more. What about this one right over here, guys? Is this a fair value gap? Not a. It is a fair value gap. Good job. And last one. What about this one right over here? Is this a fair value gap? Good job. Now I'm going to show you a little bit on how I take these trades right now. Obviously, you're not going to really fully understand it, but markets in a downtrend continue. Fair value gap. Look, price taps into the fair value gap. It broke structure on the 5 or 15 minute time frame. Where did the market go? Right back down. Same thing. Look, another fair value gap right over here. Price tapped into the fair value gap. It broke structure. Where did it go? Right back down. Same thing. Price tapped in, broke structure, went right back down. Same thing. Price broke structure, went right back down. Now you guys might be like, oh, but it's only used for a downtrend, bro. Same thing. Tapped in, broke structure, went right back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 trades in literally 2 days. And that is how I use a fair value gap. There's a lot more to it with internal highs and lows and order block and all that stuff. But again, yeah, that is what a fair value gap is. Now I'm going to switch cam and edit it out. As I'm running on 2 hours of sleep, man, I'm drained, man. But that being said, the video comes to an end. It's a very easy lesson on what a fair value gap is. Again, you can use these, lessons that I give you and put it together and try to find trades. Again, it's super simple and easy, man. Yeah. Keep this in mind, not all fair value gaps are a good fair value gap, but the one that is within your analysis is good. And I'm going to see you guys for next lessons. Hope you guys like this video. Hope you guys like the way that I teach. I keep it very simple. You guys don't need to know the exact definition of all these lessons, okay? You just need to know how it's used, when to use it, and where to use it. That's all. But yeah, see you next lesson, and boom!